The Municipality of North Cypress-Langford is located to the south of Neepawa, bordering the town on three sides and stretching south past Carberry as far as Shiloh to the west and Edrins to the east. Total population for the area is 2,860, with a land area of 1,762 square kilometers within 6 wards. This month, North Cypress-Langford Council covered topics ranging from the upcoming AMM Association of Manitoba Municipalities conference in Brandon to fast fiber internet installation to upcoming water projects. Delegations this month included the Blue Hills RCMP, who brought the latest statistics from the jurisdiction and held an in-camera session with Council, and OptionPay, which presented a credit-debit system for Council's consideration. Cypress Planning District brought the welcome news that they are preparing to handle Part 3 permits in-house now, which involves larger square footage buildings that used to be referred to the province. In less welcome news, there has been no movement on a tricky development situation involving Brookdale Holding Company, and Council is discussing their options for bringing in resolution assistance from the province, as well as documenting the situation for legal purposes. With summer approaching, the new campground was top of mind, and Councillor Van Comer took point on identifying priorities in order to get it up and running by midsummer. However, this is still Manitoba, so winter sports were on the agenda as well, with funding needed for the Brookdale Ice Plant and other recreation maintenance items, and a new seating area for the Wellwood Curling Club. Other business this month included a medical suite lease, new daycare facility proposal, new municipal employees AMM conference attendance, professional development for staff, water services board priorities for 2024, the 2024 audit progress, and dust control. Following is the April meeting of the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford Council in its entirety.
79, 2024, be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of April 8, 2024 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Seconder, Robbie. Anybody got anything to add to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Adoption of minutes, Resolution 80, 2024, be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting of March 11th, 2024, and the joint meeting minutes of March 25th, 2024, be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover, please? Malcolm, seconder. Alice. Anybody have any questions, comments on those minutes? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Blue Hills aren't here yet, so we'll go down here to finance and accounts for a bit. Resolution 81, 2024, be it resolved that the financial statement for April 2024 be referred to council. Can I have a mover, please?
Grant.
Seconder.
Davidson.
Sharon. Anybody have any questions on that? Anything to explain or anything, Teresa? Anything good? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 82, 2024, be it resolved that the accounts check number 30520 to check number 30576, totaling $160,023.82, and direct deposits withdrawals totaling $446,715.52 be approved for payment. Can I have a mover, please?
Homestead.
Alice, seconder.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. The check's in front of you there, I think, aren't they, Teresa?
I don't know if I have a check.
No, I don't have the list in there.
No, I didn't see it.
Anybody got any questions on any of that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Is Porter out there coming? No, but I'm going to keep going. Planning matters, Resolution 83, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the application from Sheldon Weeb on behalf of Brent and Patricia Graham for tile drainage located at Northeast 321013 WPM. Have a mover, please.
Malcolm.
Malcolm, seconder. Harold?
Was this reviewed by the committee or something?
I don't remember seeing
I
it.
sent you that by email,
Yeah.
yep.
It's off 351 where it breaks the tree line east of Carberry on the north side. The tile drainage project's approximately 30 acres, if I remember correctly from the plan. It drains the quarter onto his own property in an existing creek. It does not enter municipal roadway or ditch. And the closest roadway is a quarter of a mile of ours on road, I believe, I want to say 75 or 76 west to the east of it. There's no roadway to the north because that goes into that creek bed to the north. What direction is this is a stupid question to ask. I believe water travel is to the north, isn't it, Harold?
Yeah, the creek's to the north.
It's to the north, but I just wanted to make sure because there was no LiDAR included.
West.
Okay, there was no LiDAR, so I just wanted to double check. Yeah, I couldn't see an issue for us municipally as long as watershed's happy with it.
The baffling part of it to me is that's sandy loam soil with straight yellow sand underneath it. Like, and there's never been a problem with drainage there. What do you need?
I'm gonna have to, I
Absolutely
can't
baffles
vote, 'cause
me
this
why
is
you would need
at my house.
tile there.
Yeah.
Pardon?
You don't have that on the computer, but you have that on the screen?
I rent the pasture right beside it, so from Graham, so I can't vote.
Okay.
Most of the work in the area.
Is there a pivot there? Because
No,
because the field line, in the imagery that was sent to us, the field line almost looked like a pivot curve.
well, there is along the road to the south.
Yeah, but where some of the drainage is, it looked like it was on the north end of the pivot.
There it is there, if you can,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what I mean? So it looks like they were trying to clean up that north end of the pivot there, probably, it looks like they're just trying to clean it up, just a little bit of water movement.
Could be, like it's just,
I don't see how it could impact us. Like I went onto the Google Maps, pulled it back several layers for a few miles. I can't see how it could impact us as long as we have that clause in there that anything that does, if it does impact us negatively, that we have to rectify it.
I'm pretty sure the land work is already, that's what I'm thinking. He already did land work.
did a fair amount of
Like,
landscaping
it's already like
level.
through
for-
Okay.
a road allowance.
Yeah, I haven't had a
typically,
chance
but
to
he
touch
already
bases
did
with you on this
everything.
one, Harold.
Through a road allowance?
I'm pretty sure 3 years ago it already happened.
That's up here,
That's
From the
that
north
one.
end of it.
Okay, that's that
that's
one.
up there.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, most of the work's I think already done, except
Yeah.
for the actual tile, so.
And watershed does show, or the geo mapping, when you go onto the Manitoba Agri Maps, does show a water course following the edge of that field. So that almost looks like a moat area right up the middle that kind of tapers down to the right at the bottom. That does show that as a water course. But
It's fairly,
But you think
it was fairly
over in
deep.
spring then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm wondering, yes, or at least beside it.
Shouldn't be doing that.
That's why that was my concern.
So the total project size is only 33 acres,
Yeah, just the one corner.
just the one corner. And he's got a pivot there now. It's strange that Harold said, why would he be tiling it? I don't understand that, but
I don't know. It's not a
Because
lot
where
of
I'm
flow.
thinking it actually, it washes out bad there. Like it was like a freaking valley.
Yeah.
And then he smoothed her down, but it still flows down through our,
Goes right off into the slough there. You
I can't see it impacting us. I don't know how it's gonna help him, but that's not our call.
Robbie?
application would allow for the installation of a 10-inch non-perforated main irrigation line directly bored across the municipal road of 87.
That's the next one. That's some point
What?
acres. That's up at,
some point.
that's almost at Neepawa. That's the next page.
Well, that's the second one.
That's the second one.
Sorry.
No, all good. And that I have some concerns about as well. Go forward.
Oh, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Did Rachel ever confirm who the owners were? That was in the letter to us.
That's Brent Graham's.
yeah, it's Brenton Path.
Okay,
Yeah.
because she said she had to change it, they would have to change it on their application.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like your company's here.
Like I said, I know
It's the exact
why you need a
basement of the house. It's like
Anyways,
6 inches to 5 inches inside, depending on the flow. Usually it's just around by like the stop from flowing in, and it allows water to sit into the
we're just
tile.
discussing a resolution here for a couple of minutes, okay?
We're a little bit early, so
Morning.
good day.
Yeah.
So anybody got any more further comments on something like that? What he does on his own land is up to him.
yeah.
If he wants to do
can't see it
it,
affecting
whatever.
us.
As long as it's not hurting anything of ours or impacting us anything,
Doesn't
right?
have anything to do with us, really.
Okay.
Well, not on, he's putting it into the slough there, so it's,
So you're good with it, Harold?
yeah.
You're okay, Malcolm?
I haven't seen an issue with us.
Robbie, any comments?
No, sir.
I just want to make sure that one quote we have in there is like that one comment about if it does affect us in any way, shape, or form, there to rectify it.
Rectify it, yep.
Okay.
Anybody else got any more questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Seeing as you're here, Blue Hills RCMP.
There we go.
Then we'll go around the table and introduce ourselves first. Start, Robbie.
Rob Van Coller, Counselor.
There you go.
Malcolm Murray, Counselor.
Teresa Parker, CAO.
Ray Drayson, Reeve.
Alice Olmsted, Deputy.
Harold Bolton, counselor.
John Davidson, Counselor.
Grant Dean, Council.
There you go. Well, I'm Clint Wickander. I'm the Staff Sergeant for Blue Hills. This is Grant Campbell. Some of him, he's a corporal for your area. Sorry, we're not in uniform today. We've got other meetings we're going to that don't require that. So, normally we'd be, all day dressed up here. We won't take up too much of your time unless there's some questions. Grant's going to go over the stats with you, and I've got some HR stuff that I need to discuss with you, but that's going to have to be in camera for that part. So, you can
Let
start.
us know when you want to do that. and we can
Sure.
do it there.
We can start with the stats and finish off with the HR. And any questions before that?
Go ahead.
All right, so I got for the last quarter of last year, 2023, compared to this quarter for 2024. Overall calls for service have dropped by 76 calls, which is basically a result of this traffic offenses. There's 20 to 76 less traffic offenses this quarter compared to 2023. And that probably relates down to just traffic services. They probably sometimes they have spots where they work our area specifically and then they hit it for a week or two. So that would jump up the stats, and they probably haven't done that this year yet. So that's probably the reason why the drop's there. Overall, for some of our major files, compared to last quarter, we had no assaults and no sex crimes this quarter. So that's a good thing. And our theft related files were down a couple. So that's also not too bad for the quarter. What else went on here that kind of stands out? Our written warnings went up by 12. So still the police are in the area, they're doing stops, but maybe they wrote some more warnings versus actually writing CONs. So that's not too bad. False alarms are up by a couple. Last quarter we had 4, and we're up to 6 this quarter, which still is pretty good. The false alarm used to be an issue years ago. We were getting called to them quite a bit, but I guess all the alarm companies have figured out what they're doing, and we're not getting the calls as much, so that's kind of nice. And that's about it. Overall, between both quarters, it's pretty good, just with the exception of the traffic stats. So I'll be talking to the members in our detachment to get them to kind of patrol more in the area, get some more stats in the area, and I'll get send an email off to traffic services and see if they can kind of get their guys rolling around in the area, do some targeting and tagging some cars. But that's the only real change.
There you go. And those false alarms, like I say, 6 is not bad. But we attend a lot of them. That takes a lot of time. Usually, if they're false alarms, it's not really a police matter, right? But we go just in case it's a break and enter or someone's in the house. The Arm of Eldon has, in the last 2 years, they put an alarm bylaw in. And because their false alarms were out of control there for a while. Now they have almost none. Many quarters go by, or many months, 0 false alarms. Because people have tuned their equipment in and take care of it. Because a lot of these are like, the cat's in the house and you got it on, or you got papers flapping in the breeze from the air conditioner or the heater, and it sets off the alarms, right? So, but now they got a policy in place where if you have a couple in the course of 6 months or a year, then the arm hits you with a bylaw offense. So all of a sudden, those calls, those false alarms have dropped to nothing. Like, I think it was 2 months in a row, we had 0. This month we had 5 there. And I said, you guys are slipping. They're going to tighten that up. So it's something that worked very well for them. So if it's something you're interested in, you could talk to Christy or to the CAO over there. Shauna, sorry. My darn phone is ringing here. I got to shut that off. But yeah, so if it's something you're interested in, it seems to be working for them. So that's a good thing. But if you have any questions about the stats or any current criminal activity in the area, Grant can hopefully deal with that for you if you have any questions.
Was that 6 for the per quarter, right?
Yeah, just for the quarter. So that's like, really, that's nothing. But if that was 0, that's more time for us to do other things rather than go to people's house and go, hey, lock up your cat.
Yeah.
Throw the cat outside.
Kinda.
We just had a couple of comments up on the weekend, I'm up in the northwest part of up here, but of a suspicious truck driving around and out on Facebook, so people are taking a look, and
Good.
it was in somebody's yard, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody was an ex-member, so it was kind of, knows what to do, so.
Yeah, definitely call those in because we get those all the time. And people, it's not usually people that live in our area, it's usually people traveling through.
Yeah.
So between here and wherever they're coming from, they like to stop and see what people have and they just grab it and run.
Yeah.
So if you see a truck, it could fit with who knows how many other break-in enters, or like we have a lot of people just steal trucks and then come steal things and burn that truck and steal another truck.
Yeah.
Like we just had that just
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So if you see it, let us know. Not like 4 days later,
Yeah.
but like right at the time was nice. So get any description you can. Don't ever get yourself into a situation where you're getting jammed up, like confront somebody. That's not a great thing. But if you can grab a plate off it or a description,
Yeah.
fantastic. Fantastic for us. Anything else?
Anybody else got any other comments for them?
Just questioning, what do we do about drones that have been caging people's places?
We haven't got any reports of that. We had one here like 3 years ago, but
Yeah, nothing lately. The whole drone thing, it could be, like, it all depends who's flying it and what the purpose is, right? Could be kids there that parents got them a drone for some reason and they're flying it in the back 40 and going over someone else's property. We haven't had too many like files related to drones, like say for thefts, like some guys using a drone to look at an area, then they come later and steal it. Most of that kind of thefts that are occurring, again, are exactly what Tim was saying, where they're coming from another area, stealing a vehicle, and they're just driving from property to property looking for something they can steal because they're all trying to pawn stuff off for money. So, and those, this time of the year, usually get a little more of the files related to that because it's not cold outside anymore. So they're walking more and stealing more and that, but we haven't had anything related to drones at all.
no, there was, I think it was last year we had a report come in that people were using drones to case property for thefts. So that's something to be aware of and consider when you see them. But the regulations for drones are based on, I believe, size. You have to, a certain size, you have to have licensing. But those little tiny ones, there's no regulations on those as far as I know. So if you see someone you don't know parked down the street somewhere from you and there's a drone flying over your house, maybe take note of the vehicle, because that could be like a theft related deal, but it could be just like Grant said, totally innocent, just out flying a drone. So
Well, it was us that was 3 years ago where the guy parked in that yard, quarter-mile from my place, and he was flying over all the different yards, but he made the mistake of flying it into my neighbor's shed.
Yeah,
And
close
he
the
just
door.
shut the door.
perfect.
Yeah.
Did he come get it? No.
No.
Yeah.
I wonder why, right?
Any other comments, anybody?
Thank you.
No
You
problem.
want us to go into camera for
In
that?
camera if you could here, because I got a couple of sensitive items that don't need
Can you
public
make a
broadcasting.
resolution up for that, Teresa? Please.
I just need to record the resolution, then I'll turn the camera off and go.
Whenever, just tell me when you're ready.
So I would suggest that you use the resolution for reading wise and
Pardon me?
just,
We just go back to the back here, what number do we put on that?
84. Thank you.
That would be in order for that matter, right?
no.
Okay.
So it'd be 97,
104.
104? Okay, in camera, resolution 104, 2024, be it resolved that council as a committee of the whole, move into in-camera to discuss personnel matters. We have a mover, please?
Harold. Harold.
Harold and Robbie?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Go ahead.
No, I won't share my screen yet. I'll bring that up in a moment. So, I don't know how many people are there, but good morning. My name's Don Lawler. I'm with OptionPay. Teresa's asked me to give you an introduction to our service as a possibility for you guys to look at for yourselves. So, OptionPay is a merchant-facing consumer pay credit debit card acceptance solution that provides you, the merchant, complete control over the transaction process. Utilizing OptionPay enables your municipality to keep your overall payment acceptance processing costs down, yet provide for individual residents to utilize their credit and debit cards for payment of various municipal bills and services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to touch on how OptionPay works through our demo site, but I think the best way for you to see what OptionPay can do is for me to bring up some of the other municipalities that do have OptionPay set up currently. You can see their pay page. So let me share my screen and hopefully that this you can disable participant screen sharing. Okay. Are you able to, Teresa, bring up my screen sharing?
Allow camera there too.
It's loud. Can you hear me at all yet?
No.
Oh,
Yes, no, maybe so. Well, while you try and figure that out, let me go through the features and benefits of OptionPay. For OptionPay, there's no cost to set up and install. We will provide card readers. Nothing seems to be working. Okay, let me go through the features and benefits. No problem. We will also provide card readers that are included no cost. I'm assuming you can see me. This is what the card reader looks like. Okay? And that's for your in-person transactions. So let me review here. So with OptionPay, it is URL based and enables you to accept payments through your website with a Pay Now button. With a QR code we create for you for anybody who wants to or prefers to make their payments with their phones. Many people have their credit card information saved on their phone. Using the QR code will direct them directly to your public pay page. They can make the payments there and it'll auto-load the card information and so forth. You can also take payments over the telephone if you really need to in your office, and you can set it up for in-person payments with that card reader. And what that card reader does is reads the card information into the payment screen, the URL. So getting back to the features and benefits, there's no monthly fees, there's no contracts, there's no minimums, there's no PCI fees for you guys. Processing fees, which are the fees that are charged to the customer, hence the statement of consumer pay, they're charged to the customer at the time of each individual transaction. And again, what this is allowing for you to have happen is you are not having any costs charged to you for anything. It's transferred to the individuals at the time of each transaction, and all costs are covered through those fees. You, the merchant, are paid within 48 hours, typically. That's dependent on the banking system, and that's business hours. OptionPay is full level 1 PCI compliant, which is the same level as the banking industry. PCI being the payment card industry standards. Anybody that does financial services has to be at that level. And if I could share the screen, I can show you the link to our security measures, which most municipalities actually list that as part of their information with regards to OptionPay. They do an FAQ, which is 3 or 4 lines, and that enables anybody who has the interest to know information about the fees. There's a link to our fee table, PCI compliance and the security measures, and the fact that you are not receiving any funds from this process. It's completely done third party through us, so that your constituency knows that you're not doing this to make money. It's simply an added feature. Credit card rewards are received by the customer on the entire purchase, including the fees. So, for example, if your base payment is $5,000 for, say, a tax payment, and the fees on that are about $155, believe it or not, that's what you got to be paying if you were doing it conventionally. The customer's going to get their rewards on $5,155. Very important for them to be able to know that. So that there's a benefit to them for using the card. Oh, I can hear somebody.
That's because I've signed in on my phone.
Hopefully everybody's been able to at least hear me.
in the middle?
I'll carry on. I mentioned about the QR code. The URL will be marked at any computer you guys have access to from the merchant side. And that way you can log in, you can run reports, you do whatever you need with the transactions. The platform is completely customizable for you to build out whatever payment types and descriptors you want to have. I've seen everything from your standard municipal taxes or your property taxes, utilities, licenses, permits, and that can be built out to multiple kinds of descriptors, contact information, whatever it is you want to have, whatever payment type you want to include in there, you can. You build it out. Well, I say you build it out. I'll do it with you or train you on how to do it. You have full control over doing that. Payment notifications can be directed into this department. So, say your bylaw, if you guys have that, they're in a different building, they need to know the payment's been made. They can have an email directed to them. So once a payment's been made on a particular fine, they'll get a notification right away. But they'll only get notifications about payment types for them. They're not going to know about property taxes, utilities. That's not something they need to know. Reporting. You can run various reports. You can export it into CSV format for uploading into your existing accounting systems if you choose. We can also go to full integration if that's something you want to do. We can provide an API, and whoever your ERP is, will enable you to have that integration. There's work to be done with that, but you certainly can do that. And you can create payment profiles for the customers. Because this is merchant facing, it's all in control of you, the merchant. But if somebody wants to leave their credit card on file, they can do so, and then you can set it up to charge that card each month, or whatever that may be, or if you have it on a budget plan, or a utilized payment plan, you can have it set up to do recurring billing, it'll charge it automatically, and they would get a receipt of a notification by email, as well as you also get the notification receipt by email as well for any transaction notified right away. That's basically in a nutshell. Will we be able to show you anything here? So how OptionPay is set up. Sorry, go ahead.
Nothing seems to be working. Does any of council have a question?
What's the expense to us?
We have one councillor asking what the expense is to us.
The expense to you, there's no cost to the municipality for setup or installation, maintenance. There's no contract. The only costs are in the fees charged to the customer, which I can't remember if I had sent the link of the fees to you, Teresa, but I can't. It's a tier rate table, which most municipalities put in their website so people can see it, so they know right away what the cost will be. So they're informed that way there's nothing hidden.
Anyone else?
Any other local municipalities close by that you could send their name to us so we could talk to them and see how they're making out? Or we already have them, Teresa says?
In that introduction, Teresa, I think there was a list of all municipalities. There's about 180 nationwide. In your province, I think, this is just a guess, I can't remember exactly, I think we've got 8 or 20 across the province, maybe a bit more.
Okay.
The one that I did bring up that I wanted to show you was La Brokerie, because we had to do a special French toggle for them because their bylaws said that everything they do has to be bilingual. Do you guys have that situation?
No.
No. No, okay. But theirs is very interesting because we had to do that for them, and it looks great. And they've got a lot of different unique payment types built out. So, but yeah, I can send, Teresa, if you want, I can send links to those particular ones, like I did for the Fernie one for you, and maybe you can show the council members some of that.
Sure, I will.
Sure, I will. I'll send the Rotary for sure, because they've done a nice job and they've done a great communications page. There's a number of other ones that I'll look them up and see which ones really would benefit for. Is there anybody in particular that you talked to, Teresa?
No, I was just talking to people at a conference.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I'll send you a few links specifically to the pages and wherever you can share that. I'll do that as soon as I get off with you guys, okay?
And you'll send the fee schedule as well?
Yeah, I'll send a link to that. I'll send the whole breakdown on the fees. I thought I'd done that, but maybe not, because the costs for debit cards is way less than it is for credit cards, but I've done a breakdown for you to see that. I'll send that along, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hopefully, in a short period, the key points here for you.
No, I think that's good. Thank you very much for presenting today.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for having me, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now.
Maybe that didn't work any better than that, but you got the gist of it.
Okay. We've already started the planning here. We did Sheldon Weed one, Brent and Patricia Grimm.
Perfect,
Parker,
yeah.
Done that one already?
Yeah, no, pretty much, any tile drainage or road crossings would come through our office and then off to your road committee, so. If I'm not here for those discussions, it's usually pretty straightforward, so.
We do this next resolution and then we'll go down to the Brookdale Holding Company. Resolution 84, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the application form Carolyn Bouvier, CO Borusk Contracting Limited for tile drainage located at 59243 Road 76 West, Northeast 32113 WPM. Can I have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder. Malcolm.
Whereabouts is this?
Isn't that in your package?
I didn't see this one.
Yeah, it's in your package too.
The owner says Some Point Acres Limited.
No, that's.
This isn't it anywhere.
This isn't the
there.
township section range. Unless we got the wrong
32,
township.
10, 13?
This is,
Oh, so it should say 10.
Okay,
Not
so the same
okay.
one as
Oh,
the.
32, 10, sorry.
Yeah.
well, and it's not 76 West either.
Yeah, the previous one, it's the same as the previous one, but not the other one.
It's 76.
It's not Boomers, it's,
No,
No,
it's
no,
this.
no, it isn't Stephens, no. Stephens isn't even on here.
no.
No, this is Sheldon, this is continuing.
Yeah, it's just the contract.
Is it
So
the
this
same?
is section 32, 10, 13?
Yeah, same thing.
We have,
It's the same as the previous.
Yeah,
What's the difference in the Rachel?
I'll just quickly point it up, because like I said, these were done a while ago.
You had down there a comment about the applicant may have to reapply due to the naming. of-
You betcha.
Is this
So
the
it
difference?
should be the same thing. Yeah, so what's happened, okay, 2 seconds, let me just pull up my email here.
Yeah, sorry.
We did have an issue with this, with a road crossing because the applicant was listed as Sheldon Weed, but when we did the application to send to the road committee, it actually was the Grahams that owned it, so. Let me just pull this up. So it is the same application.
so we don't need this one at all then?
No, they should be tied together. And that's the issue. So We will see this application come through again, just to fix the clerical error, because Caroline can't apply to the province with Mr. Weed's information as the applicant, because you need the registered owners on an application to the province. So I had taken the road from the mapping, so you're saying it's not?
It is 76 north.
It is
on this side.
76,
Okay.
So maybe we should pass 84 then, because it has to be passed through Carolyn.
Yeah, so it has to go through Bo Ross Contracting, not Sheldon Weed. So if you wanted to strike Resolution 83 off of the table
Okay.
and just pass Resolution 84.
What do we gotta do to strike 83 off? Rescind resolution
Yes.
number 83?
Yeah.
Well, let's finish this one first, then we'll go back and rescind the other one, okay?
Yeah, so this is like typically when we have tile drainage projects, we don't have road crossings. But this one is more of a complex application. Teresa, do you want to just scroll down a little bit there?
It goes into the road allowance, does it?
You betcha. So they are draining into,
We don't allow that.
yeah.
No, this is some point though.
No, that's not some, we're not talking about some point here.
This is some points,
I think you're getting them mixed up, Rachel.
Well, the one we're talking is 321013, and that's not some point.
Some point is 2014-16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the road crossing.
Did I
yeah,
throw
but
the
we're
wrong
not
map in?
talking that one right now.
Maybe you did.
so, here, Rachel.
Bring up the other one, please.
This is here. This is Sheldon Weeds. This is Bo Russ.
Okay, I apologize. This is on me. I've put both maps
Maybe we
together.
should table this to next month and get it straightened out so we know what we're doing.
I think we better get.
Probably a
something
good idea. What did
Yeah.
they do here?
Because this is, with the tile drainage going
Yeah.
across the road there.
The same company applying for them both.
No, I've got Precision Land Solutions on one of them.
Oh, okay, well,
They're different.
I don't think there's a big rush, we could probably table
Yeah,
it.
if you
table
don't mind,
these and
if council would be
get it
all right with that, I apologize for that. I'm not sure how I managed
Meantime, we
to.
can rescind to
Sorry,
83, I
Sandy.
guess.
Yep. Yep, we better know what we're talking about here. So we'll table resolution 84, even though we have a mover and a seconder, or do we have to move that or second?
Say that again, sorry.
Resolution 84, what we're talking about right now, do we need to carry this or lose it?
You can
Or
table
how
it
do we
before you
resolve
Table it,
it?
we haven't even moved or seconded it, so just table it.
Okay, well, table resolution 84. And we'll go back and rescind resolution number 83. We have a resolution number, what number we want to be on here then?
83A?
Yeah, do 83.
Pardon me?
Do 83A.
Okay, resolution 83A to rescind resolution number 83, 2024. We have a mover, please.
Yeah.
Dallas, seconder,
Grant.
Malcolm, Grant. Who we got down, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Okay then. Part 3 permitting, what are we talking about?
Okay. I'm going to move that these now.
Okay, thank you.
I'm assuming you didn't get a chance to send the
No.
PDF?
No.
Alright. Take those and pass them that way. I'm gonna say I have a copy for you that doesn't have any extra document.
We'll have to share one here then, I guess.
But if you could send that one, that way.
You found one? Thank you.
Perfect, so.
Go ahead.
One of the things that we had discussed at the board, the Cypress Planning District board, was the option of potentially going into Part 3 permits. So what I've done is I've kind of written I'm calling it a memo because it's easier to call it that than a formal report. So So basically what we'd like to do is we'd like to potentially look at moving the Cypress Planning District into Part 3 permits, which if you can see there, there's a little blurb on the front. Part 3 permits consist of anything that exceeds 600 square meters, which is 6,458 square feet. Anything that is more than 3 stories or is classified in that grouping that I've given you there. So assembly occupancies, detention or care occupancies, F1 high hazards, which are something we see every once in a while, but not necessarily a lot, so fertilizer depots and that sort of thing. And then farm buildings. So this is the one we see quite a bit. Basically any large storage facility or potato shed or manufacturing or processing in the agricultural sense. So all those permits, all these permits currently go to the province. Again, as you can see in my memo here, I've completed the educational portion of my certification. In order to be considered fully certified, I have to go through and complete the next stage, which is a 4-year process. And we have to have someone on staff who can mentor me. And unfortunately, there aren't a lot of Part 3 people around. So we would be looking into entering a contract. So one of the things we'd like to do with the contract is, if we move in that direction, is basically take all of the mentor fees out of the permit. I did include a fee schedule from the province. So as you can see down at the bottom, they break out their Part 3 permits. They take 1% of the first $1 million and then 6.6% of the additional funds. So if you think of any large potato structure that we've put in recently in that $1 million range, 1% of the first mill, that should easily cover all of the mentoring costs that we would potentially be looking at. And we had kind of proposed that, or I had proposed that to the board, so that the planning district and in turn, the members who are part of the planning district wouldn't be incurring any additional fees or additional costing to them. The only additional cost that could potentially be there, and I'm not sure how your insurance works, so I'm listed as a designated officer under the municipality, so I'm covered under the municipal insurance for liabilities, errors, and omissions. So we would ask that the mentor would be also covered under the same category, so I'm not sure if that does anything to your insurance or not. So that would be the additional cost to the municipalities at the beginning, basically, that would be the only cost I could see. So this is something that our planning district has been working towards for quite a number of years. We see a fair number of complaints every year from the local farmers who are looking to do these large buildings and end up dealing with the province, because obviously there's quite a large associated cost, and the province doesn't treat any of the buildings differently. A farm building is a farm building is a farm building, so a low human occupancy storage building is permitted the same way that a hog barn is permitted, with occupancy and classification. It's slightly different now that we've gone into the new building code, where we do have classifications, because farm buildings are now part of the building code again, which we haven't had since, 2005. So in that case, we could look at breaking out, and I've listed it in my memo here, G4, which is that low human occupancy storage facility at a different rate, so that you're not incurring a huge fee on the front end. It's really no different than we do development permits, because in the grand scheme of things, we recently had an applicant who's putting in a storage building. It's going to be full frame. It's got no floor, it's got no insulation, it's got no power, and his permit fees are $4,500 from the province. And that, like, typically if you have a large permit fee, it's because you're going to see an inspector and you're going to have some sort of review. These buildings don't get that review and they don't get inspections. So there's a huge upfront cost associated to these types of projects that there is really no bang for their buck. So that's something that the planning district, I would suggest the planning district look at, but in the grand scheme of things, the planning district doesn't cover or doesn't carry the designation, the municipalities do. So basically we would need the municipalities to apply to the province to take on Part 3, listing out our mentor and our planning district as the one providing that Part 3 permitting authority, which is kind of confusing. But it's, again, it's something that we've been looking at for quite a while. If the municipalities aren't interested in it, then obviously the planning district, we don't have the grounds to apply on your behalf without your authority. So, but it's just something to think about. There is quite a number of large farm buildings that kind of pop up. Obviously, we don't see we don't see the same amount of large farm buildings as we do housing. But in the grand scheme of things, like last year we had about 8. This year we've got 1 on the books already, and there's potential. So there's a new Hutterite colony that's potentially looking at establishing. I know down in Glenboro, they've also got a Hutterite colony establishing. We've got a handful of potato sheds that are kind of waiting to see what we do. Because if we can keep it in-house, they'd rather keep it in-house, but we can't anticipate them holding off for a long time, right? So it's just something to start thinking about, trying to provide all the municipalities as much information to make their decision or start having those discussions. And then, if you guys have any questions, I'd definitely be looking or willing to answer any questions, or gather the information if I don't have it. So, but it's one of those things the board and I've been talking about for quite a while, and it's there's definitely potential revenue, and if we have additional revenues in, there's always the possibility of reducing levy fees. Because again, if we're having more money in, then we don't necessarily need as much support from the individual members. So lots to think about.
And do you have a mentor in mind?
You mentioned I have 2.
Right? Yeah.
I have 2 different individuals who have offered to provide that mentor service. Both have slightly different contracts. I'm leaning towards one over the other, just because of the implication of costs to the planning district. So.
The option there in the future that once you have your part 3, that you could be a mentor for somebody else.
100%.
And we could cost it.
Yep.
Or train someone to be a successor.
You bet. Yeah.
I was told that I could use his name, and I talked to Rachel about this. It's Donnie Dixon, and he is furious over the cost. And not only the $4,500 for a shed, but there's also a $300 fee from us on top of that.
Gotcha.
And so if this goes forward, just thinking about it since I've talked with him, there needs to be some sort of different framework on how you charge for these big buildings, on what capacity, a floor. Like, this is an open shed. That's all it is. And he is really unhappy, like very unhappy over this. Now, he would be charged it whether we're doing it or it's going to Winnipeg, but so that whole system is a little bit flawed on how they do this processing. So in my opinion is, if we do decide to go this way, there needs to be some changes to how these are charged. These permits are bought and charged on what you're building over human, animal, or a pole shed. Because it makes no sense. Like $4,500, I think that's crazy. That's 1% of his shed will cost us $450,000, right? It's 1%.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and with the new building code, so the way I've kind of written it is a little bit differently than I would have written it a little bit before. So Part 3 permits, and I'm calling them Part 3 and Part 2. So Part 2 is the new portion of the building code that is specific to farm buildings. So again, we have classifications 1 through 4. And 4 is the low human occupancy. It's where Mr. Dixon's shed fits in. There is no reason why we couldn't, and again, we have to open up the Cypress Planning District fee schedule, but there's no reason why we couldn't break that out. That farm buildings the costing on the permits is evaluated by Part G1 through G4. And that was something that I definitely suggest that the planning district and the municipality sit down to think about, because where you've only spoke to one, I speak to many a year about how frustrated they are.
I don't even think there's hydro in it. Is he,
at this point in time, no, there's no hydro.
He didn't even plan on putting hydro in it. Like, that may change over time.
Yeah.
But, so, he wanted me to make sure it was brought up.
You have the ability to change these fees
100%.
and to keep your costs covered by the permit and make a significant impact on our residents.
For sure. So basically what we're looking at is the contract that I'm leaning towards. The gentleman is basically saying he's looking at about $150 an hour, 7 hours per permit roughly, depending on the complexity of the permit. So obviously a G4, where all we've got to worry about is limiting distance to other structures and exit capacity for low human occupancy. We're not looking at a grand scale of fire suppression systems and emergency lighting and all that kind of stuff. Like, we're looking at basic code evaluation. So we could obviously tier that down. We need 7 hours per permit for Mr. Campbell to review with me, but that's for more complex projects. And this gentleman that I'm hoping to work with, both of them are actually based out of Brandon. Mr. Campbell's involves less mileage, because he basically is going to drive to Carberry, hop in the truck with me, and then that's when we would start calculating mileage. But again, it's one of those things. If we don't look at moving into Part 3 permits, it is 100% up to the province. The province, no matter, unless the municipalities start pushing back, the province isn't going to change their fee schedule. Their fee schedule hasn't changed in years. The only option we have to alter that fee schedule is to bring it in-house and go that route. There's a little bit of pushback from another member of the planning district because there's concerns about not seeing a large amount of Part 3 permits. So again, it's each individual municipality or member. It's not the planning district, so we have the option to have the municipalities apply and maybe not the town, because in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be a wave of when we see these permits come through. But even if we could recoup a small amount of costing back to cover the mentorship, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to take me 4 years to get certified. So as long as we're covered for his time and we're providing that service to the ratepayers, I don't see how we could go wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions on that? I think it's a wise idea to move forward with it anyway myself, but everybody has their own opinion of that.
Yeah, it's something to think about. The municipalities would have to apply to the province. With the new government, I'm not sure how quick of a process that is. Previously, when we had discussed, the gentleman who runs the department at the province had basically said, a couple weeks, and we could gain the authority. So the province is pushing really hard that the municipalities or planning districts start retaining Part 3 and Part 2. Basically, if you get Part 3, you get Part 2 regardless of whether you want it or not. And obviously, Neepo Area Planning's got it. Midwest is just in the final stages of getting it. Keystone Planning District has it, which is around Brandon. Obviously, Brandon's got their Part 3. We have South Central, who's just below us. Fred Beatty's finally has got his. He's working with a mentor. So we've got a lot of coverage around the area. So if we don't go this route, and if you guys don't want, or the members don't want to look at having me finish out my certification, I'm fine with that, but I would strongly recommend you enter into a contract with an adjacent planning district who has coverage. So even if it's not Cypress Planning that's doing it, Neepo Area Planning could easily do the coverage. I think at this point they're providing coverage for Keystone. So there is those options, and you're not doing your ratepayers a service if you're not providing Part 3 permitting. So again, even if it's not with me, it's definitely something you should look into with adjacent planning districts.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you, Rachel, for that, for your information. Brookdale Holding Company.
I have no news.
No news?
I had Abby Bingham provide me a new email, which I feel like is just another dump email where all the emails go in and never get read or seen. So I sent 2 emails off, and I am going to call Abby this morning. But there is no movement, and she will not provide comment on an application that is active. So, not sure what to do with that.
Who's the minister in charge? We have an AMM in this week.
Mm-hmm. So it does fall, if I'm not mistaken, into municipal relations. So that would be whatever the minister is for municipal relations. Yeah, there are a handful of departments from the province who are running very slow with returning content and information. So, with AMM coming up, this would be the time to start kind of beating on the table to have those discussions with them. Well, and that's the thing, they might be there. And again, municipal relations covers inspection and technical services, which is the permitting aspect. So you're going to sit down with them, there's a lot of things to talk about. But
alrighty then.
I'm assuming until we hear back, or the municipality hears back from confirmation on I think there's 5 questions that I sent out, that you guys aren't prepared to move in any sort of decisionary application. I basically explained that to them in my emails, that there will be no forward movement until we had information provided back, and that if they're waiting on your approvals, they'll be waiting quite a while. So,
Robbie?
Well, that's what I'm just thinking, like, where's the stalemate? Like, what happens? Like, all of a sudden we get a court injunction from Brookdale, from that colony, saying somebody's got to move. Like, what are we doing? Like, who gives first?
It's got to be the province, because we've already relayed. Yeah, they need to answer our question.
But true. But that doesn't, like, and I'm not in favor, like, I like what's this going on, but at some point, somebody's going to have to give. Like,
Might be the colony and have to do it right.
well, true, but I mean, the government gives us a couple answers and we can move ahead, but until that happens, like, we're gonna get a lawyer knocking on our door one of these days from the colony saying, what are you guys doing? And we've got all the documentation, we've got everything in place, but one of these days, something is gonna have to be.
Like we've been doing everything the way we're supposed to, right, Rachel?
You betcha. So with the
Yeah.
conditional use application, so that we have to establish the lagoon location prior to going into the variation order hearing.
Yes.
So if you were to go into the conditional use application hearing or discussion and basically say, you know, here are some additional conditions that we're going to hold you to, and if you don't complete them, then obviously we'll pull the conditional use. So you have the ability to apply additional conditions into that conditional use order application. So you could put in a condition that that all formal documents and comments that were requested are completed. You can put in a condition that all provincial permitting is included and submitted prior to the completion of the project. So you could put in that condition that you see all the permits and everything from the province. But again, none of these safeguards are going to help with because the lagoon's already built.
Great.
So
Except the lift station.
except for the lift station. The lift station is not complete.
And you are gonna guarantee that they do not do that.
Well, they can't proceed any further and they know
Right.
that. Yeah.
And they know that, and they've got it in writing.
I'd have to go back and check, but
I would
It'd
suggest
be a good idea if it was in
make sure,
writing.
Rachel, that it is in writing, because
Yep.
one day you go up, you drive by there and there's gonna be a lift station sitting there.
If we can miraculously get a meeting during AMM, like would you be willing to come with, or is that proper to do so? Like if we can actually get a body locked down for a meeting at AMM,
you betcha,
would
just
you be
give
able
me a
to
shout.
come on in?
Yep.
Right?
We could try. I doubt if
I
we'd be
can-
there,
Well,
but
I doubt we'll get one at AMM at this point, but we can
Right.
always request a meeting post-budget. So
Yeah.
we're not, I mean, that's with too many things, and we'll just set up a meeting sometime.
if you're available, if we
bet.
do get the opportunity,
Yeah.
Yeah,
come in
now,
an hour's
yeah.
notice or something.
For sure, yeah, no, I can make myself available. Again, it's, so I do have to step back. So this application would be through Climate and, I can never remember their full name because they keep
Yeah.
changing it.
Oh.
That, and I'm not sure that department falls under municipal relation, but again, I can go through when I get back to the office and send Teresa all the departments that you should maybe be having chats with. But again, if we can get someone at the table, I don't know who's in the department because every time I send an email off, well, so-and-so is not there, and Robert Barwick, I think is the gentleman's name on the original application.
If nothing else,
Yeah.
we're gonna run into Jody, one of us will run into Jody at the meeting.
For sure.
And we can ask her to look into it as well from her end.
Yeah, what we can do, if we still don't hear anything back, so like, let's be honest, build season is right around the corner. Ground is more and more thaw every day. We can issue a stop work order, and that would be something we would issue from the planning district, basically saying that no further work can be completed on site until the appropriate paperwork is completed, and we can do that too. So,
Okay,
Is that something that you need direction from us on, or is that something you would do on your own?
that's something I do on my own. Yeah. It's always great to have council involvement in the stop work order,
Yeah.
but it's sometimes easier if I just act on my own behalf, so,
let us know.
for sure.
Any other comments, anybody? All righty, thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, no, nothing else for planning?
That's it, basically, I guess.
I'll figure out what I've done with these road crossings. I'm not sure. I apologize for that. I'll get them fixed up and back out. I kind of thought we had dealt with the lead one earlier in the year, so yeah.
With the LaPointe one there too, who do we give a heads up to that they can't drain into municipal ditches? And
So
no point bringing it ahead, we're gonna cancel all automatically anyway, they know they can't.
yeah, so the road crossing is to go across the road. I'd have to look further into the application to figure
But
out.
it's where you're dumping it, was
Yeah.
into a municipal ditch, it said that.
No, there's two outlets.
Yeah, one's 10, one's a 12.
There's two separate ones,
Yes.
different areas, yeah.
Yeah, the one 220 acres dumps into a 10-inch irrigation line that goes under the road and back onto his property on the east side.
Yeah, I
The
know.
balance of the field is to dump into our ditch. We could do something similar, or make the request to something similar on another application that was on Road 89 west, about 3 miles south, remember that one? On the east side, where we asked the people to put the pipe in their field and run it
Yep.
to the river.
Yep.
That could be a very similar
Yep,
workaround for them, if you remember that one.
yep.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you very much, and bylaws, resolution number 85, 2024, be it resolved that bylaw number 2, 2024, to establish a reserve for strategic infrastructure funding to invest in local capital priorities that may include mitigating high levels of inflation on existing projects or to initiate new projects to be read a first time and referred to council. Have a mover, please? Jaren, second to Robbie. Explanation, Teresa?
We received a grant for 200 and some $1,000 that we have to invest into a fund and we collect interest on until we use it. It can be used on bettering our municipality, capital projects, so just opening the bylaw to put it in and keep a separate reserve for it.
Yep. Any questions?
Free money.
Commenting, we got it to use it, so. Seeing no questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Unfinished business, resolution 86, 2024, be it resolved that council agreed to a 3-year term on a lease for a medical suite with Lions Estate as submitted. And further be it resolved that the cost be shared between the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford, the town of Carberry, and the Carberry and Area Community Foundation. We have a mover, please. Seconder. Grant. Any questions on that? Explanation, anybody?
Just, this is same as has been, nothing new, just updated,
Just increased price.
yeah, there's a slight classic.
$20 or $10, $20?
It's not that
Yeah.
much, it's pretty,
No questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 87, 2024, be it resolved that council agreed to set aside a 2-acre portion of land located at the southwest end of the recreation property west of Wellwood Road for the development of a new daycare center. Have a mover, please. Robbie, seconder. Dallas? Any question on that location or whatever? It's just west of the
This is
complex here
Carberry?
now?
Yeah, just checking.
There's a bunch of volunteers getting together basically, and they're going for it. And,
it's a very excited
They're-
board.
yeah. And it's gonna happen.
Any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Yeah, it's the rec property where the parking was for the Scotties, like across from National Rink.
Okay, is that joint owned?
Yeah.
Okay, so there will be some zoning that has to go into that, because it's considered green space, and we don't have an allowance for daycares within green space, or open space. So, I'll chat with them tomorrow night.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, in
no.
general, because we'll look at all of it, because there's
That's what got
soccer and
started.
Yeah,
campground coming in.
yeah, campgrounds, recreation facilities, green
That's all
space,
green.
or
That's
not,
fine.
like recreational facilities like ball diamonds and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
that's all
That,
under
those,
green.
yeah, that's
Okay.
open space. We might have daycares in there as conditional,
Okay.
but there's definitely, it doesn't, that's not what we
Yeah.
hold open space for. Open space is for green
Yeah.
space.
Check it out and make sure it's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks
good
for being
comment,
here.
thank you. Resolution 88, 2024, be it resolved that council hire Chris Chester and Alexandria King as joint utility employees at the rate set out in the employment agreement. And further be it resolved that the cost be shared 50-50 between the municipality of North Cypress-Langford and the town of Carberry. We have a mover, please.
I'm sorry.
Alice, seconder.
Grant.
Grant? Any questions, anyone?
What exactly are they doing?
Yeah, there was, we decided that anybody between like the Parks and Rec and the dump employees, they're gonna be called kind of like the joint utility workers.
Utility.
Yeah, just a general title so that there's more allowing of job sharing and back and forth as needed. But,
So they're gonna go and like read water meters?
No.
No. But previously, like folks that are hired for the dump, like now there's just like more training, so they can cover each other's holidays and days off, and because they kind of did so already. So the one hired 2 bodies. One went from the dump to the position at the rink, so there was 1 more body hired in each location. But so yeah, it was covering. There was 2. Like one covered, like technically when Gopher left, that body wasn't really covered, and then there was another resignation of Zane at the rink. So
So
2 bodies out, 2 bodies in.
I have a question related to this. So with these joint employees, do they just work for the municipality like around town here? Like, do they ever go out to Wellwood or Brookdale?
Classically, they haven't, but it is within.
Like if somebody,
Yeah.
who cuts the grass here, say, for the rec complex?
The rec complex, it is the Parks and Rec.
Joint Parks
Yeah.
and Rec. So we have 2 facilities in the municipality that they should be cutting their grass at then.
Theoretically, true.
So can we get some movement on this?
Basically,
Fair
the
comment,
community
yeah.
club has been mowing that grass, like that means.
Yeah, Wellwood Rec, same
Yeah,
thing.
so
They
they're
pay
paying
for
out of
their
their
own.
budget and it's
Yeah.
volunteers that are doing it, or else they're
Yeah.
paying out of their caretaking budget
Yeah.
for all summer long for something that's, should be paid for through our joint Parks and Rec. Like we have,
Yeah.
we're paying people already.
I would expect we should be, yeah.
And if we get that service in this town, why not our other 2?
Yeah,
The comments been made before.
yeah, it has been brought up, but I
It's just
could-
getting not accurate.
Excuse me, council, I got
Yep.
to leave.
Okay, Jaren's got,
Yeah.
Grant's got to take off. Thanks, Grant. Have a good week.
How do they know?
Yeah, no, I'll bring it up again at next joint so we can get more people out. Yeah.
Any other questions concerning that? Good question to bring up though, Jaren. Yes.
I said we bang on,
Right, yeah.
there's a crawl and bobs
I know.
all the time, even things were being done outside of Carberry.
I know,
And
I brought up too, like even when we get the green team people in too, like this, and I had brought it up at joint, that hopefully there is, you know, even if there's like, same as like even with the dumpsters kind of stuff, but there's things you need just touch-ups
Yeah,
in the
there's
other
lots of
areas,
stuff.
like, yeah.
I didn't mention Brianna, I know it's off topic to this specifically, but I did mention to her to reach out to the green team for assistance in cleaning up the curling website if on a rain.
Well, are we not, did you put in for green team?
I've applied for 2 green team members, and joint has been used before to help with cleaning around bins, but we've never been offered anything else.
So if we get
Let's
our own
ask
green
anyway,
team,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the only problem I guess
There.
we have with our own green team is we don't have equipment for them to do it. If it's, right, like if we send a green team to Wellwood to
We
cut
have
the
the
grass.
equipment. We have
The
the equipment.
equipment's up there,
Yeah.
or?
No, we have a trailer and a mower, because
Yeah,
that's what
Gopher
Gopher
has
Oh,
uses,
that,
okay,
right?
that's right, that's it, okay, good,
We have
yeah.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we do.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, because
We just-
Gopher's using it as it is.
We'll have to do a couple, safety meetings with these,
Yes.
with these people
Yeah.
and give them proper training, so. Unfortunately, it's part of the game.
Cover our bases,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, do we have any more questions on that resolution then? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 89, 2024, be it resolved that council agree to the terms of the joint labor proposal for 3 years effective as of the first pay period 2024. And further be it resolved that the cost be shared 50-50 between the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford and the town of Carberry. Can I have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder. Harold. Any comments, concerns on that? We had it presented last meeting, did we not, or talked about it? All in favor?
I'll vote in favor as long as we get more action.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. Want to take 5 minutes and then we'll go into general business here? Go ahead, everybody, if you don't want to.
Time for a donut.
General business, resolution 90, 2024, be it resolved that council approved Teresa Parker to attend a Zoom meeting March 19, 2024 on asset retirement obligations at a cost of $75. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, seconder. Robbie. It's already happened, we just have to pass it here. Any comments, concerns, anybody? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 91, 2024, be it resolved that council approve Teresa attending and navigating your financial plan in Winnipeg, March 22nd, 2024, at a cost of $225 plus room, meal, and mileage. Do we have a mover, please?
No.
Seconder. Harold. You want to put Teresa Parker down there, or
Yeah.
just Teresa? Everybody okay with that change?
Yep.
Yep.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Just so you know, that
Awesome,
was the
right?
most informative session I have been to ever since I started working for the municipality.
Hello.
Came at the best time. I appreciate being able to go to these events.
Good, thank you. Resolution 92, 2024, be it resolved that council approve CAO Parker and Financial Officer Creasy to go to financial boot camp in Winnipeg, May 13th to the 15th at a cost of $825 per person, plus hotel and mileage. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Seconder, Malcolm.
Does that include meals?
I'm pretty sure it does. Most of these events do include your meals, like your.
Suppers?
Yeah.
Covered? Okay,
Yeah.
just
Should
making
we
sure.
add meals?
Add meals in there with it.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that little bit of a change there? Good. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Did I miss? Did we have a vote on 91?
I just did it.
Yeah.
You did have a
Yeah.
vote?
Yep.
Yeah. Did I vote?
Thank you.
Your arm went up. Sorry.
No, just kidding.
Need some?
Yes, you did, Bob.
Sorry about that.
Resolution 93, 2024, be it resolved that council approve one table purchase for Sportsman's Gala. We have a mover, please. Robbie, seconder Dallas. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 94, 2024. Be it resolved that council agreed to purchase 6 Consk wireless setups for graders and mowers at a cost of $12,631.50. Should we be maybe leaving this till after our budget's done, being a bigger number, or are you okay with doing it
We
today?
sure can. We can wait.
I think we should, that's my opinion, I don't know about the rest of yous.
Whatever you think.
I'd be okay moving it, but, the table is fine too.
Okay. You okay with tabling it till we get the budget done? Is
It's fine, just as long as we look at it.
that okay with everybody?
Yeah, we should probably see where we're gonna get the money from first, so.
Okay.
Okay, we'll table that one, thank you. Resolution 95, 2024, be it resolved that council approves CAO Parker, Reeve Grayson, Deputy Reeve Olmsted, and councilors Murray and Van Comer to attend the AMM convention April 9th to 11th, plus rooms, meals, and mileage. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder. Malcolm. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 96, 2024, be it resolved that council approve all 7 public works employees to attend the AMM conference for public works on April 10th, 2024. Lunch included at $50 each. May I have a mover, please?
Oh, sorry.
Seconder. Robbie. Any questions on that?
Where is it, in Winnipeg?
It's in Brandon,
Oh,
same as
Brandon.
us. It's
So-
the same time as when we're over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they're driving, there's no mileage here, so they got.
No, they just drive the truck over.
Okay.
Yep.
No, they're just,
They never used to charge for the people, for the employees to go and look, but,
But I don't think it included lunch before, did it?
oh well, we always take them out for lunch
Yeah.
anyway, like I don't know why we're, but
No.
now they want them registered.
well, no, yeah,
They want to make some money, so. Any other questions?
just don't see mileage.
Seconder?
Just wanna make sure they get paid.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Mhm.
And they usually only go and if they have time to go.
Yeah,
They don't just necessarily,
Yeah.
if it's a bad day and they got something to be doing, they'll do it. So it's a good thing for them. Resolution 97, 2024, be it resolved that council approve weed supervisor Shelley Rowland to attend weed conference in Russell, plus room, food, and mileage. Could we have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder, Malcolm. Any questions, anybody? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution 98, 2024, be it resolved that council approves CAO Parker to attend MAMEC AGM and 2024 annual conference June 17th and 18th. Cost of conference transferred from credit from Module 7 as unable to attend due to office restructuring costs to include room and mileage. Could I have a mover, please? Sharon, seconder. Alice?
Thanks, they can transfer it for you.
Any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 99, 24, be it resolved that council approve invoice from T. McConnell at a cost of $4,200 for expenses related to 2022 audit account assistance. Can we have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder.
No.
Malcolm. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 100, 2024, be it resolved that council sponsor Neepawa Chamber Fair for $250. Can I have a mover, please? Malcolm, seconder.
Sure.
Alice, any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 101, 2024, be it resolved that council purchase a membership from MAMEC for 2024 for $300. We have a mover, please. Harold?
Okay, what is MAMEC?
MAMEC. It's the emergency.
Oh, that, okay, yeah, I read that, all right.
We have a seconder, please.
David.
Malcolm? Any other questions on that? That's a good question, Harold. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 102, 2024, be it resolved that council approves CAO Parker to attend Module 8, exercise design of the MAMEC training. Are these two different programs?
Yep, they are.
And MEC on May 9th, 2024 in Portage La Prairie, at a cost of $225 plus mileage. Can I have a mover, please? Alice, seconder.
Bro,
Robbie?
how many modules is there?
8.
So this will be your last one?
It is the last one. I didn't get the first couple. So they're going to try to offer them online. Just gotta wait and see when they come out. And then I'll be certified.
Certifiable crazy.
I'm already there.
Okay. Any more questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution 103, 2024, be it resolved that council approve Rain Pryor as minutes recorder for regular scheduled monthly meeting for an additional quarter to be reviewed at the June meeting. Have a mover, please.
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder. Dallas. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. You're hired.
Good job.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Anything added to the agenda? We didn't have anything added, so. Communications, anybody got any comments here? Sub-district meetings, we've got them notified already. Barrage, it's, I think, with Shiloh. Climate change, carbon tax, dam major, ag in the classroom. Message of inclusion request, Guys planning, handbook, blue ribbon panel, proposed blue bin recycling model.
How will that affect us?
Speak up if you got any comments. Connecting with age-friendly communities. Budget 2024 commitments. One thing I saw in that budget, not there, was it in there with the water line expansion to put a request in?
For water line expansion?
At east of Neepawa, up north, there's about 50 people looking to. That's been on the books forever. We need to get it
What
up.
about for a booster station for the west side?
That's what I was going to ask. There's a booster station and we need to do some repairs. We're upgrading all our meters to Mach 10s, doing 10 a year.
Yep. But this other one is you gotta put a request into water services so they can plan for
That's right.
major expansion. And
These you can do, like your booster pump and your meter heads, you can do
Okay.
that as well.
how soon can we get something like that in, sort of deal?
You have to tell me what I need to do and then I'll work at getting that together.
Did we not say a few meetings ago that we're gonna put a pause on the water up there for a while?
No,
get
this
the
would be a
one-
total different
We need
system.
upgrades in the booster system.
We need an upgrade
Yeah.
to the system
And
we've
that's before we
got.
added more.
Yeah.
But this isn't being added on to that system.
This is just
This is
a
going east of
fix.
Neepawa. A total different line, a group of them, about
But it's
50
still coming
people.
from here.
Well, it's
Yes.
still from, yeah,
Comes out of the town of Neepawa.
we have to negotiate for more allocation though.
It's
I
completely
talked to the
separate
town there
line
about
than
2
what's
weeks ago and they
currently
didn't
installed.
see a big
Yeah.
issue with it, no. But it's, at least if our line name's in the queue in Brandon for when the governments are doing their budgets and that, they got some money. There was about 50 people up there.
But if we have
6-8 years
to
ago.
apply based on priorities for what we need right away, I think we should apply for the booster station and upgrades first.
When they give us
Yeah, 'cause
their
we
idea
can't-
what we need.
Because we can't add any more onto that line up on the north end.
No, we're not adding on to the line on the north.
I know, but I'm getting at, it. If we put in there as
We
that
need
being.
it for what we have now.
Yeah, we gotta look after.
I know, but I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied for wording. If we word it such that we can no longer add any more residents to the north end line due to these factors, one being lack of pressure on the booster station, it might get a priority based off the fact that you see what I mean, we can't add any more customers.
I would put in 2 requests,
Yeah.
Okay,
not just one, put in 2 requests,
Right.
one being
Yeah.
a dedicated water line going east, number 2 being the improvements on the water line that's existing.
yeah, I was just trying to mention a way to swing it.
So is there-
more importance on that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so is there, like, is this gonna just keep going? Like, just, how
It's
much?
just a fact in Manitoba nowadays, everybody, water lines are going every direction, and if, like, we aren't lucky up there like we are down here. Down here, you can put a hole in the ground and get water.
This project was talked
There.
about, what, 20, 25 years ago? So when the water line went in on the west side of Meepoa down 464 and serviced that whole area, residents came forward from the east side of the town asking for a similar system to be installed for them. It never materialized. So this,
Well, it's in Brandon.
right,
Water
6
Services
years ago,
have-
we had a meeting to get those residents
Pretty
on
good.
paper
Right now, I'm at
and to sign up for that water line going east of Meepoa, and the application was put in, like Ray helped with, did most of it with the girls to get it from, to use water to be sourced from the town of Meepoa or from Portage. Because at both ends of the 30 residents, it's only about a mile to the first access point. So it's a completely separate system. It's just to service these residents as part of the water infrastructure we have. Because we're already doing it, we're already billing it, so for our end, it's just,
It costs the municipality nothing.
No, I
This is
realize.
all
yeah.
user paid.
Yeah.
but they asked for it at that time, almost 25 years ago, and we're just trying to get it.
But the question was in this budget thing, or some of the correspondence, was to put in
Yeah.
our applications as soon as possible. So if everybody's agreeable to proceed that way. Okay, continue on then. I can work with you on something like that then, Teresa, okay?
Perfect.
CN, got a notice from them. Rail shipments, not sure what that was all about.
Just shipments that come through our municipality.
Yeah, that
They're
was
just
what
always
goes through.
making us aware of them.
General insurance program renewal, just usual
General
everyday thing.
information, yep.
Funding details, step on more innovations. Proposed path, Napo East RF now.
I need some
Did
feedback
do
on
something to
that.
that, yeah.
You guys are okay with it?
Well, we have a set of rules what we want them to follow, do we not?
Seems to follow the same rules as
Yeah,
previously
as long as
stated
they
in
make
previous
me sign that
contract.
again, right? Because I know it took them a long time to.
To sign it?
If they're doing another phase, it wouldn't hurt them just to sign off on that again, saying, by the way, this is still our policy.
Well,
Because it took
and
them
they
a long time
don't,
to sign it the first time.
they don't follow it very good because at Mary G's where we had the water line break, they went and put it right above our water line.
Yes,
Yeah, they
we
just ran
did.
it.
That's totally no-no supposed to be.
Can we scold them and give them a slap on the wrist? Saying you have these rules to follow, why aren't you following them?
Yeah. I'm not sure how clear and concise our rules were or anything like that, or what was wrote down or anything.
They were done through the lawyer, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was also inclusive that if any of their infrastructure is damaged because of, I believe, improper location,
It was on them.
it's on them to repair it. I believe that was in the contract.
Then Matt just asked them to make sure that they push back as far on the bank as they
Yeah.
The
can.
back, it was
Yeah,
supposed to be
'cause that
ready to
was
go to the
a-
back slope of the
that's
ditch
it.
was the plan,
No,
right?
they're supposed to be on the back, so
Yeah,
they're not.
depending on if somebody's there, somebody might already be there, or they
Yeah.
might have to move over, but I always fought that with the highways, is you always fought with these guys. Because they get permission, they go in and they make a mess and they leave.
Yeah. well,
They didn't do what
that's-
they're supposed to do, they're supposed to push under a crossing so far and they're, it just, we give them these permits, we give them these rights, but we never see, when they make mistakes, they should have to rectify them. They should either get
Yeah.
charged or penalized or fix them.
Yeah, well, it's the same with the vaults. They're supposed to be on the back slope or sunk low enough to not affect our infrastructure.
Like technically, if that line was on our water line for a length, we could as a council go back to them and say, we want that line moved.
Mhm.
We actually could, if we wanted to fight.
'Cause I think the line did go directly over top of the
It
water
did,
line.
yep.
Like, not crossing it, right? But
Well, it
following
came
it.
down the ditch and went into a guy's yard and then it came across
Straight
here,
across.
which was directly over,
But they, like, on a 90?
yeah,
Well, they have to though, right?
well,
Get across somewhere.
Yeah, they have to cross it. Now that, that is something that should be in our permits, that's how they gotta be, and cross it, not on an angle and that.
It'd
So
be
let me-
nice if they like update a map too, though, saying, hey, by the way, we crossed your water line.
They should have
Here, here,
updated
here,
maps.
here, here, right?
These days with the GPS and everything else,
Yeah,
the cats that they push with have GPS on,
right.
so they can be tracked.
It wouldn't hurt to add it in there and to say, you know, please follow up with.
We want
Informing us
updated
on-
maps on your
yeah.
locations in our municipality and
Yeah.
the futures.
Thank you, Chuck.
And I mean, I'm not just picking on our app, but just
In general, right?
in
Yeah.
general as you move forward.
And if they are doing it too, so just, if you're pulling the file anyways on what they signed off the contract for, just make sure you should update it with a newer date or something like
Yes.
that, where, just to verify that, and because it's a separate line, kind of.
So our water maps, are they up to date with all our lines where they are? Like Matt probably knows, you probably know, Ray, but in general,
Tim's
Is
got
there a
them pretty
map
well
of
all
our-
marked down, I think, does he not there, Teresa?
We have locations mapped out, not per se lines, because some of them were done
different time.
years ago and
They're
different
down
times,
as
that's
grade
right.
11. Whole Franklin area too, so it was.
That's where the issues are. There are a lot of lines, we have the old map,
Right.
the original, but some of the Franklin area isn't so clear. Locations are
Did we not
clear.
get maps from Rosedale when they did that expansion? I never really saw them myself personally, but that doesn't mean we didn't get them.
We do, but
We
it
should
was
have.
just getting there. That was an issue. They went through a creek bed and there were issues there, is what I was told. I don't know. They're mostly showing, I think.
It would,
Okay,
And we are working, actually, they're coming out, just so you guys know, I was gonna mention this later, but they're coming out this week, actually, to, not, Office of the Drinking Water, not Office, Water Services.
Water Services.
Are coming out this week to go with Tim and Matt, and they're gonna start checking all the pressures out there. Yeah.
sort something out up in there, yeah.
Start somewhere, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Proposed access removal. We're okay with that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And request to utilize Road 69 North Evolve. Is
Is
that
that
what we
okay?
were talking about before?
This is Plains Midstream. We're gonna utilize an existing approach off Road 69.
Yeah.
An integrity dig, I'm okay with
All
that.
right, thank you. Number 12, around the table. Jaron.
The museum has Gordon Goldsboro coming this month. I'm not sure the exact date. Do you remember, Robbie?
I've looked at it 100 times, but
Watch for posters.
25th or 21st?
Yeah, somewhere that weekend, whatever the weekend is of the week of the 21st or something.
A very interesting gentleman.
Yep, and that'll be at the drop-in center, I think. The Brookdale Rec Committee, they had a pretty successful winter. But they wanted to know about mowing too, because they're looking at the budget and planning for tendering mowing out if need be this summer. So I would like to see some assistance there to our community clubs for that type of maintenance. And sort of corresponding with that, they have the pest control services, the same as that we use. And they're okay with paying the monthly, but they'd like some help on the upfront costs. There was an invoice, I forwarded it to Teresa. $1,600 or something, I can't remember
Makes sense,
exactly.
we did in all of our other municipal buildings, right? Maybe.
Yeah, they do our Brookdale shop and our
Yeah,
other shop.
and all these shops,
As
yeah.
long as we're willing to do it for Lowood or any other.
Yeah.
And another thing related to Brookdale Community Complex is the water testing. They were wondering about assistance on paying for getting the test done. I don't know if they've had to pay that before, but
Yes,
it's a
we bill them
municipal-
for it.
Yeah, we bill them for it, but I don't know, I thought because it was a municipal building that our public uses, if we would meet that cost.
what happens at Brookdale? No, Wellwood.
It's never been brought up. as
Never been
perhaps.
tested there, like,
If we're, I mean,
Yeah.
if we're billing them and billing them, but if we wanna take that on, then we
Yeah,
take on
yeah,
that.
also people
I
would-
mean,
yeah.
it's all in hand, right? It doesn't, I mean,
how often do they water test? Once
Once a year, I think.
Once a year, twice a year? It's not a
A
big.
couple of
big-
times a year, yeah.
Couple of times.
I think it's, yeah, like, well, if it's a public use, like in the wintertime, they probably should be testing once a month.
Fall and spring, I think, is when it is.
See, the golf course, it was every, and then our community center, it's every month with public.
Yeah.
So my point that is that it is an RM facility.
No, I realize that, but for the safety
Yeah.
of the water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
public health.
Yes,
for sure.
so if it's supposed to be tested every month, we better start doing it.
There were rules and guidelines, what they need to do.
Yeah,
it for.
honestly, it's never come up, I think, once
Usually
in
it just
5
kind of
years.
fell under their budget and we'd look at it as
Yes.
a budget line
It's a
item.
budget item.
And then if their budget needed to go up, we'd look at it through that route.
Well, their budget request will be increased.
Their budget is,
Yeah.
request is
And they're still
substantial.
requesting an answer on financial assistance for the ice plant
Okay.
from a year ago when they first met with us. And kind of promised we'd help backstop them
And that's
above
supposed
their reserve that they've obviously taken out already.
Yep.
So, like, to continue as a viable facility, they needed that ice plant, and the cost overruns were a little higher than what they first got in for their estimates. So we kind of verbally made them a promise that we would help them make sure it maintains its viability, since we don't want another abandoned RM complex, you know.
I think where we left it was once they were done, they would get us total and then we'd pull it out of the general rec reserve. I think was how we left
From the
it.
big reserve, yeah.
Out of that general
Yeah.
rec.
That was
Because
my
there's
idea
that- There's
for
an
the year.
extra one.
Yeah,
It wasn't so much, yeah, if it
We
was
just
just
had to
where,
wait to see what
where
the
in
final
budget
bill
we
was.
find them to pull from.
because
Yeah.
there is that sort of pot in the reserve where it comes from federal lands and different things that go into that, so.
Yeah.
And I think we paid for half the Carberry ice plant when it went down 8 years ago or whenever that was.
Could you get a number on that, Jim?
Oh yeah, they've got all that stuff. Their
You gotta have something to start with,
Their
yeah.
financial or their treasurer can send that in quite readily.
We can have it on next month's meeting.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so, because like they're looking at, the roof needs to be redone before the rafters start rotting out, because it was done, somebody just fixed it with nails years ago and all the holes are big now. So that's gonna be another somewhat thousands of dollars, you know, to get the roof redone. And they are a successful club, like they bring in people from all over the place. There's people from Brandon there and further away to come to it, so.
It's a really excited young crew that's taking it
Yeah,
in, right?
and
They're
it is,
doing
it's a
things.
viable complex that we have in our municipality, you know, serves the people up there. So, anyways, that's my report on that.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right, thanks, Darren.
Or shooting beavers too.
Okay, April 19th, 20th, Exit Stage Left is having their dinner here. The play is Who Poisoned His Meatball? Murder mystery. And,
What's on for supper?
yes, spaghetti and meatballs. Well, it's, I have more to discuss about it, but it is something that needs to be discussed in camera.
Okay. Anything else, Harold, for now?
That's
No?
good.
Dallas?
A few little things. Just wanted to make a note that I did have some ratepayer hesitation feedback about the water bottle presentation last month. So if we were ever thinking of going forward with that, there was some public hesitation about that, right? I wanted to follow up of, it was last year, or maybe last year and 2 years ago, we were kind of thinking about that in-house recycling program. Could we check into what we think we want to do on that, if it's something we want to offer, or if not, can we put out just an ad saying that if anybody else is interested in buying, you know.
Can you enlighten me, please?
It was the, almost like the in-house little composter system.
It was like a bread maker.
Oh,
You
yes,
put your
yeah.
compost in
We
there.
were kind of thinking with Carberry of like doing, there's a big promotion on it. But if we're not gonna do that, I still think I'd love one in my house. So if there's people like myself that would be interested in making a little dent, if we could just advertise through here is, even if you do it on our own, still just put out the info, because it was a awesome little unit that you could.
It is,
Like
yeah.
every night just do a little bit, toss it in your garden and not stink up.
My sister-in-law has one and niece, and they are fantastic.
I
They
will
got it
do, but I'm sure there's more like me, even if we don't
Get
do
it
the
mixed up
program.
with your air fryer.
Right. And then I know we always do the winter parade. I didn't know if we were interested in doing the summer parade that happens during the fair.
Did it last year.
Making sure. If,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And we, rather than do it last minute, if we want to look at a date for our staff appreciation this summer, we'll get, right?
Holy.
You are fantastic.
And then there was a couple of comments last year that back in the day, we used to golf. I didn't know if you wanted to do a lunch and golf, or maybe a golf, and then an optional, if you don't want to golf, then you just join us for like a later supper, maybe switch it up. So if you wanted to, you could put in your day, or you can golf first. Whatever we thought, but I know back in the day, probably 10, 15 years ago, there always was a golf option.
Well, if you do this, if you chose to golf, you would probably want to golf first, and then you could have everything right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they cater it for you.
Yeah.
And you don't need a building.
I
you
was
don't need-
thinking of switching it up, if it was a,
As long as it would work with the joint staff and the kids at school and stuff.
right, we could still have some
Doing it on a
takeout.
Saturday or something.
You'd have to have it on the weekend, yeah.
I mean, it's staff appreciation, every other business shuts down for
Like,
4 hours if they have
I would be
to.
totally fine keeping it on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's whatever. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, and then if the pool staff and such couldn't come, and,
Yeah.
same as here, we took back food for those that couldn't come even now, right? So,
You doing it, have you talked to joint at all yet?
no, I want to fill it out
Yeah,
here,
okay.
and then I'll take it to joint, but,
It's a great idea.
Yep.
golf's
Set it up early and
cheap
then,
little mixer, right? It's, everybody, they can go like sit at the tables of their little work crews anyways, and no one really mixes, so we're doing
and
that.
the golf course, so they can give you a break on your golf if you're eating there, like
Right,
they used to. So I mean, you might get a little cheaper
Yeah.
rate on your golf and get they can make you pretty much anything you want.
yeah.
It's just figure out the cost.
Maybe we could rotate it on an annual basis and have it up at Wellwood someday, and they could cut the grass that morning.
I was going to say, well, what in a Brookdale? You could go around town and well,
Okay, but that's all I got.
Teresa's house has the, Robbie,
So I was with, should I talk about this now?
Which,
The recreation facility or
sure,
the campground?
sure.
Okay. So I ran into Jamie Smart, and he's the chairman of the rent board, and we got talking about keeping on top of the campground, moving along with it, and the process of the soccer field and everything else. So we put together a list of about 12 items that are need to do's basically. So then we invited the two CAOs and Callie to a meeting, and we didn't invite the Reeve or the mayor, but the mayor ended up being there. And we were here, so it was. I apologize, and if I knew he was coming, I would have invited you. But
Yep, no,
at our
that's
joint
okay.
meeting, we were trying to figure out our pecking order on our structure, right? So that's why we went that way. So anyway, we've come up with a process. The existing contract with Trenchworks should not take him more than a couple, 3 weeks. He's waiting. I've talked to him. He's waiting on the frost. This is the first priority where he's coming. Jamie Smart will walk in right after and do his job. That's probably 3 weeks to that. I volunteered with the help of Callie to do the contract for the tender for the gravel and the topsoil for around the campsites, putting that in and seeding it. We don't need Burns Mandel to engineer that for us. That's quite simple. They'll need to supply survey for topsoil and that to make sure we get our elevation so we still have drainage on the site. We put a lot of money into drainage, we don't want to mess it up with that. Saying that, then we've got onto the soccer field, how it's going to go right away. There's things to do with the water system, putting a well in. That's being looked after. We're getting a really good deal from M&M Drilling on it, and he just wants some recognition on the sign. That's going to happen. Jamie was going to reach out to him and ask to get it in right away, because then we'll need a little bit of, to start with, we really don't need underground stuff. We can run overground with green teams and what's going to happen out there moving forward. So it's all going to happen fast. And the trees, doesn't matter how it happened, but we missed the trees through conservation this year. But they're making a plan up for us for where some bigger trees can go. So I volunteered to run a fundraising for trees. From some 4 to 7 foot trees. I've got 3 different spades I can get a hold of, and and sell a tree, maybe $100 or something, and as a donation, your name will go on the wall, and we'll get these trees growing. And then there's a program, I think it's a federal program. She sent an email there, right? And that's you can get $10,000 for trees, and Kelly will look into that this fall.
Awesome.
So there's going to be some more money required. We've got budgeting for what we have, like the contracts they're budgeted for, but there's going to be a few more things coming up that there's going to be money required. And I think I can say this, the town is very excited and they want to keep moving on it. So just it's an FYI to you guys that once we've kind of figured out a little bit of a budget moving forward here over the next, probably for our next meeting, we'll have a very good idea what we're looking for money to finish what we have to for the gravel. Topsoil should be fairly reasonable because it's right there.
Right.
So the biggest,
Just repelled and it's just a
yeah,
matter
the big
of
ticket
figuring
item will be the gravel.
Yeah.
So, and I'm hoping to do it all in RM, stay inside for everything that we need. So it'll be invite only tenders.
Yep. No,
So
you got a
that's-
good plan going anyway. That's good, Robbie.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of potential development in town, and that location is almost right in the middle of it all. So I mean, it's
Yep.
the splash park. They're doing that community. Our committee is so good. They're doing so much. We got the zip line sitting in a box,
Ready to get put in, yeah.
ready to put in, and so I mean, it's gonna be something by. Hopefully, I mean, shit happens, but we're hoping by, like August 1st, there could be some campers sitting out there. We got lots to decide if we want to lease it out, if we want to rent it out. There's those little houses coming into town. He's asked about putting a couple little houses there. We don't know if that's a good idea or not. There's lots of input we're gonna need from everybody when we get to a point coming forward. So, it's kind of exciting. So.
Oh, it is, yeah. That's
I'd
good.
like to get it done before I die.
Don't get in a hurry. Don't just get.
So anyway, that's, hopefully for the next meeting, we have a budget, we'll have a schedule of where we're going. And then where the money comes from will be up to us. Teresa, we've had a little chat about different things, so she'll fill you in when she has more information, possibly. So.
Anything else, Robbie?
Again, Donnie Dixon,
Yep.
he wanted it brought up, and he is.
Nope, it's a valid point, that is, yes.
And a couple months ago, or a month ago, I asked for a letter of approval for the future curling events that the clubs have come to us about.
Yep.
I've got one from the town. I know. I'll share with you. I'll be a little busy. I'll share with you his.
Okay.
And we haven't had a rink board meeting in forever.
I know,
And
yeah.
I will reach out to her and try to get one. I've got the letter basically done. My wife's got to screen it or mark it or wherever you want to do, make sure it's right. But there's just community. It's all about the community. It's all about what we did, what we got the money, what we did with the money. on I've got everything lists where it went. I reached out to every community around, Wellwood, Brookdale, everybody got a chunk of it. So,
Good deal.
yeah. And that's it.
Good, thank you, Robbie. Welcome.
Okay, after last month's meeting, I had a Wellwood Community Club meeting. Everything's going well there with their renos. Hall rentals are up in the last year. I'm sure they've already sent all their budget stuff off to you. Yeah. They're planning on continuing the renos on the curling club. That's where I asked Brianna to get hold of us if there was any joint staff or something, because some of it was just literally needed hands-on deck to pull a bunch of old building materials down inside the club. I said, just reach out. If it can happen, it can. If it can't, it can't. Right? There was lots of farmer help around the area. They've got part of the seating area on the curling club redone. They're continuing on with the other side. That's what they've made the request for their reserve funds to Teresa already, and the guy that's doing it, working on the building currently, said he will pick away at the rest of the building and try to have it done by October time before the ice gets flooded again. That's why they asked for those funds, because he's going to pick away at it as time allows him to and try to continue bettering the facility. They didn't have their relic run. Snow conditions weren't conducive to it. They figured it would have been fine for the first half the sleds, but the second half the sleds would have been running over crushed junk and it would have beat them up, and they canceled it. Turnout was good on the couple fundraisers they have had for the curling club and stuff. So overall, that's going well. I haven't got anything new from the vet board report other than just talking casually with Dr. Liz. They've got a tipping table installed externally to the building now to try to keep some of the large animal outside. And they're looking at upgrading the rest of the facility over the next year. Same with everywhere else. Staffing for vets is slim. They keep trying to bring people in, they can't get that as you get a second vet. But they're managing. Personally, my keep them rolling thing I do every year for Kids for Bikes program. It's May 4th in town. But if you ever hear of a kid in need or a family in need, doesn't matter, grandparents or whatever, same thing. If you can afford it, $10 a bike. If you can't, just take the darn bikes. I've got a trailer full already, about 40 or 50 done. And lastly is Greg. His retirement is at the end of the month. We should make some plans.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably even had that on your list.
I spoke with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't want an event. He said, let's go for lunch. It's good enough for him.
Okay.
That's all he wants.
Okay, just tell us when and where and when he wants.
Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't heard anything, so I just...
Yeah, he was just in the office the other day. He's done, his last day, official day is May the 4th.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll figure something out before then. Works for everyone, and go for lunch.
Take them for lunch, yeah.
Did you get a present for retaring? Something
There
like
is a standard set, yep.
that? Okay.
He's
Just making sure
figured
it's
that
covered.
out too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other guy is accepted.
Yes, so, yeah,
Good.
yes, we have a new employee, he'll start in May. And then we did more applications the other day too.
Okay. Oh, did you get that did you get that thing I sent you from TIC?
Oh, yes, the guys knew about it, they're,
Okay, so that's already there, Matt's
yes,
looking after it,
yep,
okay.
yep.
There was a thing from TIC I saw looking for, it was a more operator information day, repair and maintenance, everything else that they on.
Oh.
So much for guys, so I fired it off to Teresa.
He was wondering, Matt was wondering about bringing in the mower operators in a little early to go to that.
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they can make it, yeah, you pay them
Yeah.
for the day, and
Sure.
if it's
It's
not,
a free day, it's a
Oh.
free event.
but they would.
But we should pay them to go.
But we would,
like-
wage-wise, yes, I get it.
I mean, if they're not quite working yet, but
That's
say, look, we'll pay you to come in that day, and, I mean, it's
Yep.
only
Yeah.
fair, right?
That's right, yeah,
I mean,
yes. I agree.
Anything else, welcome?
Oh, thank you guys for steam culverts. on short notice. A lot of culverts got blasted. We cleaned out water rot issues, just thankful for that.
They did about 60 in 3 days, I know that for sure.
They were tired. I took them coffees on the one day. That's it.
You said that 2 times ago.
Well, I'll say it this time.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Hey, Deb.
Teresa?
Have lots.
Okay, I'll go first then.
Yeah.
Not much, just like you say, thank you all to all the staff for the work they've done. It's been a challenging spring and they've done a good job, so. Other than that, not much. The Langford financials I was talking to last night, she'll be sending them to you. Okay?
Good.
For the record.
Thank
Other
you.
than that, that's about all for now. Thank you.
Okay.
Go for it.
Dust control, I'll start with that. It's going up, we were charging 99 cents, well, it was 99 cents a liter, or a linear foot before, is now $1.17 a linear foot this year. So that might,
$1.70?
$1.17, 17.
$1.17.
Someone else, NSC Minerals, have reached out to me as well and asked if we'd be interested in hearing from them. I said, yeah, send me some prices. But yeah, $1.17 per linear foot.
15%? Yeah.
High,
That's 15%.
yeah, it's a lot.
So that goes year to year, like we can't lock in a price?
It was at 99 cents for quite a time.
Yeah.
And then he just does it on costs, I guess, but yeah.
Fuel's up. You
It
know,
is.
like,
Well, it's all delivery
Considerably,
trucking,
yeah.
yep.
but holy man,
It's a lot.
Could the question be made that if we had tanks on hand to store the product, we would bring it out in the winter and off-season to lower our cost for the residents? Just
How
asking,
you
like,
do-
it's no different than getting fertilizer delivered, like, liquid in the winter. Just asking.
Could see.
I don't want more,
And who you gonna get to spread it and who's gonna police it and
yeah, I was just thinking similar to what we do with the gravel and the different sites, if it'd be cheaper or not. Just a
yeah,
question.
shut the box.
Yeah.
too many people be going loading up their own water tanks.
We've just been pouring it on the pile of gravel to start.
This is all user pay anyway, is it not?
It is, it
This is
is.
user pay anyway,
Yeah.
so they just gotta be aware that it's going up and
It may, yeah, it may cut out
if it
a
cuts some
few.
out, well,
Oh, yeah, or at least.
But we
cut
do
the
have a
length.
bylaw that it's not going to balance out.
all for those areas.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I was wondering
Yeah.
about locking in the price, because we have a
That's
set
right.
charge.
We do. And we increase it,
Yeah, I know.
but
it's
still,
that
it's
much.
not,
Not 15%.
this wasn't expected.
No.
Well, we got an agreement, so,
That's right.
okay.
Matt brought up, we did some pushing on Manitoba Conservation, and we didn't pull a permit. And I was going to ask if anyone had any information on road variations, because we're both looking on both sides. I haven't found anything. He will keep looking to see if, Ben Philipchuk that is, will keep looking to see if he can find anything. I had a resident from Brookdale area call in and ask if we had any bylaw preventing other people from dumping in our bins, because she followed 2 trucks the one day. They were full of banana boxes and produce coming from number 10 highway, and they were dumping them in the Brookdale bins. So
Did they get a license number?
No, she got no license number. She's got concerns about where it's coming from and why they're dumping in our bins.
Yeah,
DEET Water Services got a hold of me. Pressure testing is this week with Jared, Tim, and Matt. Tim is to provide me pictures for Office of the Drinking Water for the tank that was installed. And then I'll submit that to Danica, and that will be fine for now, and it will help with issues for now, but we still have a problem to solve with the pressure, of course. So hopefully they can find something with that, with water services. Co-op is asking if we would like to have a card lock. Honestly, I I don't see the need for it. We use Petro anyways. But,
They're just trying to get the business, that's what they're
yeah,
after.
so I don't know if you guys are interested. They sent an application with Matt. But,
Probably the same because we have about tanks there, we have tanks there.
yes, we did buy the tanks there, yeah.
That would be, if we ever considered changing, it would be a cost measure, right?
Yeah,
If it was
Yeah,
cheaper,
sure.
If it was cheaper.
if it was cheaper all around, why would we not?
Okay,
Like even no matter what type of fuel you have,
that's right.
Do we put a tender out each year for fuel?
So we go through A&M.
It's all through AM.
AMM?
Yeah.
So they'll, if I remember right, they're supposed to be able to get us the cheapest price they can, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's for all municipalities?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, and it's Petro-Canada that owns that contract right now?
yes.
Okay. So we can't really do that anyway then, unless we go on our own?
Well, you can.
You
if
can, but
want
you're
to,
just-
Yeah,
Not
but
to
it's
find
just,
there, but-
Yeah, but then we pull away from the
That's right.
event.
Right.
That's right.
So won't that be the best? I
if the
mean,
price was better,
if the
why
price-
wouldn't you go that way?
Well-
AMM, we haven't got a contract as per se that we
Right.
have to buy there.
So is that something we look into just for curiosity?
We can.
You can,
I mean,
I don't
Does
have
it
a
have
problem
to-
getting the card. Anyway, it isn't gonna hurt us to have the card,
does
but,
it have to be a card lot? Like if they just deliver fuel to our,
well, they wanna do the card lock because they built their new facility right beside the shop.
I think that's good.
oh, but that's
Fuel
for
for
depot.
trucks.
Yeah.
So then Brookdale and Carberry would have to be trucked in.
Yep.
It would be for the municipality, right? You
Yeah.
can just do it for Nepo,
That's right.
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah,
that
like
something
it's-
that we want to look into?
It's more just because I would imagine because of right now with the half tons, Greg and them just fill up at Marty and Neepawa,
Right,
whereas Co-op's right there
right.
going by, so
It'd be the same up there for those guys, but ours guys get
down
up
here,
here.
different story.
Our guys have a tank.
They
Oh,
got
they
a
get a
tank
tank,
that's
right,
delivered here.
right.
I guess we
Yeah.
could offer them a chance to
Well,
tender.
what's it gonna hurt?
Right?
Okay, if we do this, what's your cost?
I know, right? Full disclosure, we deal with through
Yeah,
co-op.
and they
but
should
yeah.
probably know that, and
Yeah.
they'll know where we deal from. It doesn't hurt nothing. They'll ask probably for what we use, what's the usage in a year for the RM. You just gotta give them that number and,
But the card lock would only be good for the half tons, basically. Because we're going there and getting it from their card lock facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, why couldn't graders go there?
The graders could if they wanted
The
to.
north
mean,
end, the north end
Have you
wants
felt
to
there
easily.
that-
Yeah, that's what I mean,
option.
like for up there, if they got the card lot right there, doesn't matter if they're going out to the shop or they're going to fill up the card lot,
Yeah,
it's still
if it's the
outside.
same price in the tank at the curb up, what the
Yeah.
heck, right? Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna, you wanna say something, what do you wanna say?
Then why are we purchasing a double walled tank for
Well, that's it.
Neepawa, $6,000?
I would say you could get the card for the card lock if you want to get it, then you'd have it. It's not costing you anything to get it.
I guess this came up after the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, this is
Just-
mentioned
yeah.
when we're buying tanks.
But
Yeah,
you can sell that tank if, I mean,
yeah.
those
It's
tanks.
not installed right
Yeah.
now, but
Okay, anyways, I just,
that's,
Good discussion.
If we're out to
Yeah.
look at saving money,
that's
Yeah.
right.
if you don't look, you don't know, right?
Yep, I'll look into it. We had a fire inspection on our building, just like all the buildings. Everything's been completed, the furnace is up to snuff and everything's good. We're just waiting for inspection now. The ombudsman. So the agreement, the Beautiful Plains County Building Act agreement,
Oh, yeah.
we're having problems with deciding how much that we should be paying based on, it was based on Langford. Ombudsman pushed me to MSO because Ombudsman doesn't deal with it, so I talked to MSO. MSO said it is between the municipalities to decide amongst each other
We will
and
not-
agree amongst each other what's going to happen.
Who's MSO?
Municipal relations.
Oh, okay.
So it is up to all of the municipalities to go together and come to an agreement. And I said, well, can we give the building back? It was given to us, can we give it back? And they said, no.
Can we sell it?
Oh, I didn't ask that.
Well, sell it or tear it down, like,
And designated a heritage.
That's it.
We can sell it though, we can ask that.
I could ask that.
Just say, well, we're gonna sell our third, do you guys wanna sell yours as well?
No,
Or buy out ours?
Yeah.
Sell to them.
Exactly, right?
Because
Might
at this point,
force
sell
the
for a
hand for
dollar.
them to, it's like, we want out.
That's the problem with three partners. You got two that want it, one that doesn't. We're the one that doesn't.
In the big picture, did we get anything for it?
Not now.
Really don't.
I know.
So if you could sell it for $1, we're not losing anything, right? If they want it.
Theoretically, yeah.
Tell
They're
them it was
saving
the
money
government that
for dollars.
forced us to amalgamate.
Yeah.
That's why we left the facility.
No, we would seriously save money if it is sold to them for $1.
Say, we're done with it. We don't,
Ask that question, if you could please.
Yeah, I will.
I mean,
But is it an agreement with the existing municipality of the day or the new municipality? Because if we go
Langford
by
sign.
800 people is $1 number, but 2,200 is a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's your argument to have.
And that's my argument is,
And it does
we
specifically.
were okay
say
in the day, but
Langford.
now,
Yeah, right, it says Langford in there, so, yeah.
Mhm.
That's a
that would be a
no-brainer.
good question to get answered.
A lot of good questions there.
I did ask about the Langford portion. She said, again, that's to be discussed in between. The only one I didn't ask was, can we sell it? So,
Well, if anything changes, I would say just stay at our current rate.
well, they're asking for
That's-
20,000.
Yeah, well, no, just give them what we give them.
Like, I don't have a problem if everybody goes up accordingly, percentage-wise, because it costs more to run the facility. But be darned if I'm gonna go per capita from 800 to 2,200.
We already tried that last year, and Newport turned it down, so at this point, the only thing we can do for just to catch 22 is just to say, okay, we'll budget it the same as we did previous years, we can't come to an agreement, we'll figure it out over the summer, and then pull from reserves.
Yeah, well, do we pay them once a year?
Yes.
Just send a check, the old one, if they don't wanna take it, they don't have to take it.
So would you like this, or would you like us to sell it?
Well, like selling, but with the understanding that it'd be $1, right? Like giving it away as,
Yeah.
like not trying to sell it for 20,000 or 50,000 or whatever. We're
So would
just,
that be 50 cents from Rosedale and 50 cents from Newport, or 25.75?
I'll tell you what, I'll volunteer to pay the $1.
Are you gonna give it to Newport or Rosedale?
I'll give it to.
Because then you'll be having to pay $22,000 a year.
So give it away.
See, like, we could negotiate it and let them take over, I
Yeah.
guess.
Like, that's a tough one to argue with, that, like, I can see our point 100%, but you got two other ones that, they were even going on about us renting our
Section.
office out to Rosedale.
Yeah.
Like they
Figured
might,
that should be going into the pot because it's rent. Well, they're just paying us on our property, like,
Right, and then
We don't use it, so if they wanna continue using it, they can.
They're not, they backed out.
yeah, they back
well, I
up.
think attitudes might change.
No, I mean,
if it was
town
the-
and Rosedale.
Oh, yeah.
If it was their
Two
building,
entities.
I can see automatically it'll be rented
Our
out,
entity
right?
doesn't
They
use it.
they're not gonna,
They
they
still
should rent
use
it
it.
out to
Well, that's right.
themselves.
the town to get past that, because the town bugged us for the rental money that we were getting from Rosedale. The way they get around it for the last number of years is they haven't been charging rent to the Chamber of Commerce, it's been using their half. So of course, they're not getting any money in to donate back to the building where we work.
And that's why I'm saying, like, we're not even using it now, so just go back to the original agreement and just give them what we
This
give them.
percentage and that's it, yeah.
Well, just the same 8,400 or whatever it is,
84.50.
yeah.
Yeah,
But last year we agreed to increase that.
We did increase it to 84.50.
Oh, it was increased to
Yeah, it was
84.50,
yeah.
but then they rebated us some back.
It
Because
was-
the town
it was-
did not pay theirs.
That's right, it was 6,000, I think, prior, and then it got bumped to
yeah, and
84.50.
the town said to
Town
rebate
said-
it back because, well, we didn't
They
get
didn't
that number
budget
in
for it.
time, so we weren't able to budget for it, therefore we didn't have it approved in our budget, therefore we're not paying
And
it.
see, that's an annual thing, they should have had that included.
Oh, it's bullshit. You and I both know that, and I don't care if that's on camera.
Anyway, it's something to be discussed and
Yeah, he'll have to take it back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to negotiate with them, whether
Yeah.
we
Pay $84.50 or sell it to them.
Yeah.
Sign it over.
The auditor was here for a day. I asked for an update on April 4th to be sure he had everything for 2022, but he's not been working on our audit as he's had other items he's been working on at the moment that were scheduled, so hopefully he gets back to me again soon. Egg Society had certain insurance requirements that they had to meet from last year for their fryers. They're talking about getting a new system and maybe bringing their fryers outside. They're really trying to work with insurance right now to find out a cheaper option to get.
I think both the buildings, the fryers in both the buildings
Yeah.
were banned. Like,
Yeah, they had to be shut down.
yeah, so they are working, they've asked McCain's for their little truck, but it's not big enough, and they're trying to find other options to do that.
So
But that
Alan is-
shuts
yeah.
down both booths,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, so Alan Christensen made
Air
questions to
fryer like a son
her.
of a bugger, right?
Leave all the
Get
sun
them all
for a
lined
day.
up. So that's work in progress. Neepawa Hospital payment, this is a budget thing, be expected to pay start of 2026 for that Neepawa Hospital, which was what, $970, I think?
$790.
Or $790, there you go. Mhm.
So with what we have in our reserve for that, will we pay that off the top? or-
235 or something like that,
You
yeah.
have 200 and some
Yeah.
thousand.
So are we gonna put that money on top of it and then have the debenture for 5?
However, we want to raise
Because
the
that's why
other
we started with reserve.
$500,000.
For sure.
For this
Yeah.
exact
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
so we can discuss it at budget, right?
Yep,
So you're,
big budget item.
it is big.
But it needs to be paid by the end of '26.
Start of
Start
2026. So,
So the end of next year, like the end of 25.
So we're gonna have to debenture the balance then,
yeah,
so
well,
we'll need bylaw for that and everything.
However, we gotta do it, we
Yeah.
gotta do it. You're
Yeah,
gonna have
that's
to
right.
raise taxes to get the money to do it, and
That's right.
we haven't got a choice. It's,
and
Well, it's
then,
not direct, it is raising taxes, but it's for the debenture, so it's not like it's going into our, it's, when it's done, then it comes off the taxes, right, so.
yeah, okay.
so then you brought up Brookdale Pest Control, so I don't need to talk that anymore.
Okay.
I attended Navigating Your Financial Plan, and I said it's the best teaching course that I have ever been to. It maybe happened at the best time too, right? So learned a lot there. Matt wanted me to mention they did a test strip at the Gregg Road, 500 feet double wide off Highway 1, and it worked well last year. He'd like to do the same on Carberry Trail, double wide, 500 foot, or extend to Carberry Starch. And maybe see if Manitoba Starch might wanna help inputting that. He wanted to know if council would be okay with doing that.
If they'll put some towards it, why wouldn't we? eh?
What if they won't?
It's gonna be rough.
If you can prove to them that it, like I
It's
said.
beneficial.
Yeah, did Matt take pictures at all? Has he
I could
done any?
ask.
If he's got some proof that
This
works.
is what it was like, and this is
This
what
is what
it is now.
before, here's what it is now, this works. And if he
Yeah.
can prove to them and go to Thero and say, this actually works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good investment, and it's not like it's a lot of money, but it's a good investment.
Yeah.
And your trucks won't bounce out of here every day.
That's right. Next, Tim and Matt are talking about going around with a camera to view the valves and see if they just need cleaned out or if they can see what's going on. So they're wondering if there's a bunch of sand in the bottom. So they'll be going around with water services, of course, but Tim's also talking about taking his camera for plumbing and going down the valves to see if they can see other things as well. So.
This is different camera than he uses on the sewers.
I'm not responding, I don't
Can we
know.
put that on camera?
What are you worried about?
Does he charge an extra fee for that? Is that why it's brought up separately, or?
Probably, yeah, that, it'll definitely be charged. It's not gonna be a free service.
No.
We have to find out what's going on.
Should get an estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough of, how much per one he'll charge.
how many do you want to do and how much is it gonna cost?
Yeah.
And then we can
We'll
hold
give a
them,
heads
then you
up.
have something to hold them to. I mean, not just
Sure.
him, but we
Right.
should be doing that.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're going to, that's it, no, that's it.
Alrighty, thank you.
Let's go to-
All right, let's go in camera here then. Resolution 106,
Yep.
2024, be it resolved that council as a committee of the whole move into in camera to discuss personnel matters. Mover, please. Robbie, seconder. Malcolm, all in favor? Carried, thank you.